Oriental and African studies, since its conception, has been a colonial crime scene. The land that we stand on right now is a colonial crime scene because it continues to be in the hands of an elite. It is not with the people. Our knowledges continue to be trapped within these walls, and these institutions are not serving our people across the world that are struggling for a liberation.
Free! 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 Free!
As Abiyayalan people, you were taught that our name was Latin Americans. We are not Latin Americans, we are Abiyayalan. So as Abiyayalan people, we salute all the peoples who are currently taking part in this historic judgment. We present ourselves here, 531 years after the arrival of genocidal violence to our land.
My ancestors were trafficked and enslaved by the Western colonial and imperialist powers on the Cape Verde Islands of West Africa.
And we didn't learn that Sweden had one of the representatives at the Berlin Conference in 1884, which carved up and set many of the borders of Africa today.
We're here today to charge Soas for their colonial crimes, and one of the reasons, well, the main reason we're doing this encampment here is to center the people of Gaza and the people of Palestine. Soas have been extremely repressive. Soas have ties with Zionist organizations that feed into the Zionist entity settler colonialism in Palestine.
And we're trying to highlight the urgent safeguarding alert of what is going on this campus. The way that this institution is being run, the way that its workers are being treated, the way that disabled community members are being treated, the way that protesters are being treated.
All our parents, mothers, fathers.
All our parents, mothers, fathers.
We will honor all our martyrs.
We will honor all our martyrs.
To undo the harm of the colonial crimes that put straight lines on maps in Africa and dismembered our peoples, dismembered our families from each other, and put cousins across borders and forced us into open-air prisons.
Balfour was the one that drew up the partition plans for Ireland, and it was those partition plans that was used for the partition of Palestine. And we Irish suffered greatly under our settlers who came in the 15th and 16th century from England, Scotland and Wales.
I testify as an Asian citizen of the world. My community in Bengal, like the rest of South Asia, suffers the consequences of partition, of colonial division of land that created boundaries between my own sisters and brothers and divided us as us and them.
We have irrefutable evidence to accuse the School of Oriental and African Studies of violations of our people's rights to decolonization, culturally appropriate education, and self-determination.
These students, these youth who are the future, are changing the history. We should be at their backs because I think we are the masses, but they are the ones who actually ignited this change in history.
We do not want to agitate or provoke.
We're going to stand in our ground because we are on the right side of standing for humanity.
We do not need
To react, we need to stand our ground and be in our force.
This poem is written by Manuel Lacaba, a Filipino revolutionary known as a poet warrior. He was martyred at age 27, murdered by state forces.
Imaginary line drawn on paper by colonialists, trained in Soas and elsewhere, has divided my people's houses in such a way that one needs a passport to go from one's own kitchen to the bedroom, and vice versa.
All over the world, from Abiyala, America, Africa, Asia, even from this land that has been colonized with these lies of capitalism.
We shall bring alive, as some institutions are doing across the world, and there are best practices that this institution can learn from but refuses to do so. The University of Waikato, for example, in Aotearoa or New Zealand, the University of Victoria in Canada, but also the University of Edinburgh, with which we are engaging through the International Network of Activists and Scholars for African Reparations. There are universities making real effort that if the will were there, this institution could learn from. But our DECOLONIAL Open Communiversity will teach those who are interested the how. And this comes from the movements of resistance of our communities across the world.